Hey everybody, Adam Arkfeld, owner of Paracore. In today's video, we're going to be talking about UTM tags and doing a really deep dive because in the world of digital marketing, paid media, a lot of different types of digital marketing, you're sending traffic and visitors back and forth between websites, and it's very difficult sometimes to figure out where they're coming from, even just using standard Google Analytics. And in many cases, even if you are using Google Analytics, you might want to segment different traffic by campaign, by referral source, just for a lot of different reasons so that you can track, if you have an ad that you're posting socially on Facebook and maybe you're posting 5 ads and you want to know which ones are generating the traffic. If you don't have UTM tags, you're only going to see that traffic's coming from Facebook and maybe like it's spiked one day, you don't know why. If you use UTM tags, then you can see exactly which post is getting the most amount of traffic and generating results. So based on engagement or based on quality of content, you can see which of those results are driving traffic to your website. You can only do that through UTM tags. We use UTM tags for a variety of reasons. In Unbounce, our landing page platform, we will set UTM tags in AdWords that send parameters to Unbounce that change out dynamic content on the page. So those aren't necessarily UTM parameters specifically, but they are parameters. They're called get parameters that are put in the URL, and I'll show you how those work here a little bit later in the video. And we use them for all of our Facebook ads. We use them as templates in AdWords. We use them to drop form data into the forms that we're submitting so that we can see what campaigns leads came from just in the form submission. So in the digital marketing world, it's very hard to track that data. So UTM tags are used constantly, and this will show you from start to finish how they're used. All right, so stick with me if you want to know everything you desire about UTM tags. All right, let's get started. So we're looking at the Paracore site, and pretty standard website here. Data-driven PPC marketing for data-driven businesses, you know it. And here's the Paracore Academy that we just launched recently. So we're kind of building this up. When I hover over it in the bottom left here, and it's a little bit cut off I think for you, but it says academy.paracore.com, and then it has a question mark. So let me hit this guy. So when you look up here in the URL, you see that it doesn't just say academy.paracore.com, which is our subdomain for our learning platform. It has a question mark, and it says UTM source equals Paracore, UTM medium equals referral, and UTM campaign equals website. Those are UTM tags. They're called UTM tags because they're prefixed with UTM. I'm pretty sure that means Universal Tag Manager, but don't quote me on that. And there are very fixed, defined set of tags. These are 3 of them. I think there are 6 total. I'll get to that in a second. But what this tagging structure says that now when this page loads, Google Analytics is going to know that it came from Paracore. The medium was referral, and then the campaign was the website referrals. So referrals from the website. And that tells me essentially everything I need to know when I go look at my analytics account. So like I said before, anytime you're driving traffic from one website to another, so if you're running banner ads, if you're running social media traffic, if you're running any sort of PPC ads, paid placements, really just traffic between different platforms, this is a great way to track the traffic. Now, there are other ways to track traffic, like Facebook has just the click metric, and then it'll show data and analytics as a referral. You have conversions that you're setting up. But in a lot of instances, our clients are really using, like let's say Google Analytics as a definitive source of data for many parties involved. I just came from a meeting where we spent a lot of time in analytics and it wasn't really aligning with some of the Facebook data. And so, the UTM tagging structure was a little bit different than normal. And so we thought that might be a culprit. That might be something to pay attention to. So this allows you to take traffic from all these different websites, campaigns, set the UTM tag, and then track exactly how they're performing. And again, I'll show you that in just a couple minutes. All right, let's dig into what a UTM tag looks like. So these are the components of a UTM tag. You have the destination URL. In the case of the Academy, the destination URL is academy.paracore.com. You have the source, which is the source of traffic. So where is the traffic coming from? Like what is your source of traffic? Like what website, what platform? This could be Facebook. It could be a website, could be something else. And this is the second time I filmed this video because the first one had the wrong dimension. So I was using an example of Trainual, which is I guess apparently my favorite example when I'm filming videos. My buddy Chris Ronzio owns Trainual, which is a great training platform. Trainual could be a website source. Let's say I wanted to run traffic to my website and I bought sponsorship on Trainual. So I'm saying, hey, Chris, I want to pay $500 to be on your website. But I want to gauge the effectiveness of that investment. So I'm going to create a UTM tag that shows me exactly how much traffic I'm getting from the Trainual website and how many of those are converting. So yes, I can do that through referral traffic, but it might be that I want to run different campaigns with him, or I just want a secondary level of tracking. So a lot of times we use the UTM tags to kind of reconcile data to make sure that's 100% accurate. But I might just be getting like a referral link from Trainual as opposed to a banner ad that I'm buying. So if I just have a link on Trainual's website, it's going to show referral from Trainual. If I have a banner and I don't have UTM tags, it's just going to show as a referral from Trainual. So if I buy a banner with a link in it, then I can distinguish, oh, this banner generated 100 clicks and this referral link generated 25 clicks. So I know what the value distribution is between those two inbound links that are coming to me. All right, so to continue with our example, UTM medium. So I'm just going to say paid search right here. And then UTM campaign is, you can make it whatever you want, trial PPC partnership. And then UTM content is video banner. So with each one of these different variables, I can pretty much choose whatever I want to put in there. So source, I can basically write whatever I want. I'm going to skip medium. Campaign, I can essentially put in whatever I want. And then video, I can essentially put in whatever I want. Or excuse me, content, I can essentially put in whatever I want. However, this medium here is really important because it feeds into the Medium and Google Analytics, so medium and source. And there's this document, this is called the Default Channel Definitions in Google Analytics Help. It says, see the rules that define each channel. So these are essentially the rules that analytics uses to determine where to put traffic that's coming into your website, so where to categorize it. As an example, direct traffic is when the source of the traffic matches direct. So for example, source equals direct. Now you would never really set that because, I mean, I guess you could for some reason, but if you set this as direct, then it would fall in direct. And medium exactly matches not set, or medium exactly matches none. So so medium right here and source. So direct and then not set or none. Now I don't really know why you do that. I've never actually tried. I'm assuming that would look like this. However, I've never tried this before because I don't do that, but just anyway, that would be the definition. And then traffic coming from this would fall into the direct category, but you wouldn't really want it to fall into direct. So here you see medium matches organic. Again, you wouldn't actually set that because organic is just it's coming from Google. You actually can't set the Google links, right? But here are some that are important, like social. It falls under the social category if your medium in the UTM tag that you're creating matches any of these different options. Social, social-network, social-media, SM, social network, or social media. So for example, let's say I'm just running an organic post on Facebook. I would probably do, let's see, what would I do? I would do social, I guess. Because it's social, it's just nice and clean, one word. Social network, no way. SM, it's probably too short. Social media have spaces. I don't really like spaces that much. And then the campaign is we're going to do like spring, spring blowout, whatever. And then the content is, let's call it product video. So there's like a product that we're selling, and it's a video. So you'll notice that this is not being updated dynamically. I'm going to go into the dynamic URL updater, but I'm just giving you examples. UTM source equals Facebook, social. So this is how I would set these up. So this is how I would set these up, and that's how these source and medium would then fall into social media. Okay, but the one that we talk about the most actually is paid search right here. So medium matches either CPC, PPC, or paid search. For some reason, I like PPC. So let's say we're going to run paid ads. Boom, that means it's a paid ad. We can just leave the same stuff. Spring blowout, product video. It's not an organic post. Now it's a paid ad. Now your traffic coming into analytics is going to fall under paid search, right? So it's going to be under paid search, not under paid social. You can actually create a channel called paid social, like a channel distribution in analytics, but it's going to fall under paid search. So it's not search, but it's going to fall under that way. And so you can use that for AdWords as well. If you're doing affiliates or referrals, you can do affiliate traffic by having the medium match affiliate. If you're doing referrals, like let's say we were doing Trainual, hey yo, referral, same thing, right? So really these first two are the ones that are identifying where the traffic's coming from, what type of traffic it is. And then the next two are really for you to just identify as a blowout, as a campaign or content. So these are then identifying what exactly, how you want to see the data coming into your analytics account. It's important to know that spaces are created by using a %20 in the URL. So when we did a video banner for the content, that right here you can see on the right, video %20 banner. And our generator will generate that automatically, which I'll show you in a second, but I just want to describe the structure of everything now. All right, and then here's what URLs look like. This is the URL I had when I first created this sheet, but this is not dynamically updating. But the most important thing to know here is that you have your main URL, and then you have a question mark right here, and then it says UTM source equals your value. So source equals, trainual. So like, let's just say trainual. And then you had this ampersand right here, right? So in between each of these different UTM parameters is an ampersand. But the first one's a question mark. So it's really important to notice that distinction. URL question mark, that tells Google Analytics and the other websites that now we're moving into get parameters, which are these tags, and then equals trainual equals PPC, campaign equals academy, UTM content equals video banner. And then you have, so then you can put these in any order. They don't have to be in this order. It's just they have to be after the question mark. So this could be UTM medium equals PPC, ampersand UTM source equals trainual, UTM content equals video banner, ampersand UTM campaign equals academy. These can be in any order. They just all need to be after the question mark and then have ampersands between them. Another thing that is just really important to know is we're talking about UTM tags specifically, but they don't have to be UTM tags. So when we're running traffic from AdWords to Unbounce, we will often do other parameters in here. Like you might do city equals Phoenix. And let's say service equals plumbing. And so what that does is it allows a platform like Unbounce to grab this information and use it in their dynamic text replacement, or you can save it as a hidden field in a form that will then send off to whoever's receiving that form. This is how you pass information from AdWords to Unbounce. Use it in get parameters. This will not track as a UTM parameter, so you can't do like source equals Facebook. That does not work. That does not work. It has to be UTM. Source equals Facebook. These are UTM parameters. We're talking about UTM parameters. That's what you have to do. I just want you to know that you can do other stuff. So like to do that, it's just kind of confusing. Like I wouldn't do that. That just seems sort of dumb. So I would typically do, just something like that's totally unrelated. So again, we have question mark. Don't worry about that trailing backslash. If you have it, fine. If not, you can delete it. You have question mark here, service equals plumbing, and you're good. So it could be plumbing repair. So I'm just typing this in. I just know the syntax. So you can just type these in. You don't need to use the builder if you don't want to. So again, these are not UTM tags. However, you can pass data between, these are called get parameters. And by get, they're like get parameters. That's like, and then you have post, don't worry about that, but these are get parameters that are passed through a URL. All right, so that's the structure. Now, this I was just typing and created, and you can type it up here and create it and manually build these out. But that kind of leaves a lot of room for error. So I don't recommend that. I recommend going to the Google campaign URL builder. You can just Google Analytics UTM builder. Whoops. Even if you type builder without a U, you'll get there. And now you have this builder that basically tells you to put in your values, and then it'll create the URL for you. Woo, sweet, huh? So I'm gonna put in paracore. This is saved from last time, and then trainual, referral. So this is website URL. So we have website URL, and you have source, and you have source right here. Medium, they go next, and then so you have medium. Oh yeah, we have medium next to referral, and then campaign name. So here we're gonna say spring blowout. And then we have term, which is to identify paid keywords. So if you're doing an AdWords, template, you might do something like keyword here. We're not doing that. This is a special tag that I'll talk about in another video that inserts the keyword that triggered the ad that someone clicked on, so you can know what keywords are coming through or what keyword was being triggered. And then you can say campaign content, and then I'm just gonna say video banner. Now I did the space here, and I wanted you to see that because now at the bottom is %20 video banner. So this is our URL, and they actually added the trailing slash. They have a question mark here, UTM source, ampersand, UTM medium, ampersand, UTM campaign, ampersand, and then it builds it. So that's pretty cool, right? Now, when I first loaded the page, I had contact in here. You don't have to just send people to a homepage. You can send them to any page. And so it'll go to the contact page, question mark, and all of those tags as usual. So I highly recommend using a builder like this. I recently stumbled across one on Facebook. I just use this one all the time. I think other like web development companies have created these because, I don't know, they want to generate traffic to their website. I mean, I don't know. There's really no need to go anywhere else, but hey, do what you want. And I think that's it. So yeah, another just kind of talking point is you only need 2 fields. You only need the website URL and the campaign source. You don't actually need medium, name, term, or content. These are all optional. These are the only 2 that are really required. I mean, really, you only need the source that's required for UTM tags. And so, you can see down here, this is the referrer. So you might have Google if you're running AdWords. You would have Facebook if you're running social, Instagram. Could be a newsletter, could be an email outreach. It could be LinkedIn. It could be a postcard. Like for example, if you send out direct mailers and you had a vanity URL that then kicked over to UTM tags, that would work there. I'm actually going to show you. I meant to show you this earlier. I'm going to go to this channel groupings. If you we do something for our academy, which is training.paracore.com/callrail. So on our videos, which I'm just going to show you. On our videos, we have this little banner that has that URL if you want to learn more, right? So let's do.
Welcome to the.
Oh wow, this is a Facebook one.
Welcome to the paper.
All right, so here at the bottom, today we're going to be talking about the integrations section in CallRail. Pause that so you don't hear audio. Here at the bottom it says, ready to become a call track and CallRail expert. Check out our comprehensive CallRail mastery guide at training.paracore.com/callrail. So if I do that and I hit enter, so like on your direct mailer campaign, this could be, offer.servicemagic.com/Phoenix or whatever. And then when it hits that URL, then it redirects you academy.paracore.com. The source is YouTube because people only have that URL if they're on YouTube. The campaign is Academy. The medium is video banner because that's what it is. It's a banner on the video. And then, oops, I think I was moving it. And then the content is CallRail. So the content is the CallRail video. It's on a CallRail video. So what we've done is we've taken a vanity URL and subdomain and then we've redirected it to our main URL with these UTM tags. So it actually shows us exactly where the traffic's coming from. So that's really nice if someone's typing in the URL because they're sure as heck not going to type in all of this bogus stuff at the end. They're just not even going to try. So you can do a short URL, redirect it, and put in these UTM tags. All right, cool. So now you have these tags coming in, and now as an agency or as a marketer, you're gonna go to your analytics, and here you are, and this is our Academy data that we just recently launched. And on the left-hand side here, you're gonna go to acquisition, and you're gonna go to campaigns, and you're gonna go to all campaigns. And now you're going to start noticing some language that you were seeing before. You have campaign here, and remember over here, we have campaign, right? Spring blowout. And then you have source, medium, and then I think we get down into label too once we dig deeper. I'm sure we do. So a couple things to note. This first one here, YouTube CallRail Mastery Course, this is pulling right out of AdWords, and this campaign is automatically being set by my YouTube remarketing campaign, and that's why you can see it's like more fancy. Like this is how I name the campaign in AdWords. So this is coming in. I click this guy. you will see that the source and medium is Google CPC. So source medium, if we look over here, I'm gonna go back to the builder. Source, Google, medium, CPC, they use, I like PPC. And then campaign was that long like YouTube video thing or whatever, right? So you're gonna see that it matches up directly with the analytics that you're seeing. And this dies off because I actually changed the way that it was tracked. I added UTM parameters. And so when you don't have UTM parameters, it pulls in the campaign's actual name in AdWords. When you do add them, it then changes that. And fun fact, I broke that. So that was really fun. But just goes to show that even the experienced break stuff. So anyway, so the example that we were looking at before is right. I killed this example. Let's open it up again. Is source equals paracord, medium equals referral, and campaign equals website. So going back to analytics, I'm going to find the campaign equals website. I'm going to click this, and then I see source equals paracord, medium equals referral. So it matches up. That's the traffic that's coming from that link. And this is another one that I changed. And I believe I changed it away from, oh yeah, I changed it away from none because we didn't have a campaign tag when we first set it up, because I said, hey Mark, just set it up. And he set it up and just did what I told him to do. And I didn't define the UTM tracking URL that I wanted him to use so that I could actually effectively track the data. So here you can see none. So this is website direct. So this is all the traffic dying. And then our previous one, it was picking back up. You also have retargeting. So we're running some retargeting on Facebook and, well, actually just on Facebook right now. We're gonna be rolling out LinkedIn. So this is gonna lead into our next conversation, which is you have retargeting, academy retargeting. It's like, what's the difference? Well, there isn't any difference. And that sucks because we have them split out as if there's a difference. So it seems like there's a difference. Is there a difference? No, there's not. So if I hit retargeting here, this is gonna show Facebook PPC. We did PPC, not CPC. And then if you hit this, Facebook PPC, sweet. So that's kind of a small bummer. It's not like a real bummer, but you'll notice that if you don't kind of create consistency amongst all the people that are sending traffic to your website, that this is going to be a really, really gnarly campaign look. So you can drill it down. Yes, like I could just say, all right, retargeting. And then it's like, boom, I have it all, right? They're both in here. I can see the chart, that's cool, but I don't really want to do that. I mean, that'll get annoying when you're trying to like scale it. So the next thing we're going to talk about is, as an agency or marketer, you want a tagging document that allows you to create some consistency between your campaigns. So I'm going to make this available to you. Depending on where you're watching this video, you can either click and link. There's either going to be a click if it's on YouTube. If you're in the academy, I'll put a link below. But I'm going to give you a link to put in your email address, and then I'll send you this document that you can then copy and save to your own Google Drive. And this is an automatic URL builder and also allows you to organize your UTM tags in a pretty easy visual format. So use this sheet to collaborate and create consistency with your client's UTM tagging method. Change columns C through H, BAM through BAM. With final URLs in column I, right here, URL with UTM tags, created by paracord. So here I just have like the tactic. So this is just what we're going to be like where we're advertising. So AdWords search, dynamic search, GSP. We have I send out a weekly email. So weekly email, Facebook campaign, Facebook event, guest blogging if we're trying to get blogs from other people, and then here's some retargeting, right? So now if so for example, let's say that we had Academy retargeting. So first of all, this is going to auto create over here, Academy retargeting, did %20. You'll see that all these are formulas. So when I click that, this shows just like a bunch of concatenation and stuff and string replacement with %20. But what I'll see is like, hey, like why, I'll just visually see very quickly, like why from AdWords are we doing Academy retargeting and Facebook are doing this retargeting, like really just retargeting campaigns. So this will give me a really quick visual representation of when errors are introduced. So I'm going to hit this. And I'm going to do that. So now I'm like, okay, great. Like this is the exact UTM tag we need to build. And if I'm going to do LinkedIn retargeting, I'm just going to add a row below. I'm going to copy all of these because you need to copy the formulas and everything. Just change this guy, right? This is my label. And then I'm going to do this LinkedIn. So now we're doing LinkedIn. Linked retargeting. So now we are bringing traffic in from LinkedIn, and we have source equals LinkedIn, Facebook, Google, and then all of these parameters are the same. So that'll be really nice because when we're here, if I click this guy, well, sorry, that's not the retargeting one. Stop. Well, here's an example, actually. This actually is a good example. I hit that guy, which was, I don't know what it was. It was Academy or something. And it shows me YouTube is the source and the medium is video banner, then YouTube and referrals. So we do have links in the description, and then we also have the video banner. And so there's a good chance that these both are from different parts of the YouTube channel. It's also possible we might have changed it. We made a lot of changes to this campaign. But anyway, the campaign is the same, but the source and medium are different. And so that's really helpful to be able to see that difference. And so that's exactly what we're talking about here, which is campaign's the same, retargeting, but the source and medium are going to be different and show Google/PPC, Facebook/PPC, etc. One thing you'll notice is that with AdWords, we're actually inserting this landing page URL, LP URL braces for the template. So in AdWords, they use a template format. You don't put in the exact URL every single time. This actually dynamically replaces LP URL, it's like a variable, replaces it with the final URL of the ad that someone's clicking. And so in AdWords, we create UTM templates at the campaign and ad group level almost as much as we can. There's sometimes when we do it at the ad level, like in YouTube videos, I believe you have to do it at the ad level. But when you're doing it at the ad group and campaign level, you want to do a dynamic URL. So wherever the ad is going, that will dynamically drop here. And then these UTM tags append on the end. And so this is automatically creating that. You'll also notice the braces here are another variable, which is UTM term equals keyword. So that's a keyword that was triggered when someone clicked the ad, not the search term that someone searched. You cannot pull in the search term into a URL parameter. You can only do the keyword that was triggered. So I wish you could do the search term, that'd be pretty cool, but you can really only do the keyword that was triggered. And so what you see here is you just see like a bunch of different URLs. And so on guest blogging, we've posted on Unbounce. We recently posted Intro to PPC. We're going to be posting retargeting, post on CallRail, Entrepreneur. And so these referral links, these are the URLs and tags that we would provide to our content partnerships to make sure that we can see where the traffic's coming from. Because if let's say I get 100 visits from Unbounce per month to the Paracore website, I don't know if it's the Intro to PPC blog or the retargeting blog that's actually driving the traffic. So if they're able to differentiate those links by blog, that's great. If they're not, then you just got to roll with that. But usually if you're like buying ads or buying banners, you have a lot of flexibility in terms of like what URLs you're giving people. And down here at the bottom, we link over to the campaign builder if you just want to double check something. So that is, this is our UTM Tag Organizer. And you'll have a way to get access to this depending on where you're watching the video, but you will have access. And, for example, this is one for the Academy. So I actually, this is exactly what I was talking about before, where we need to fix this. Excuse me, not that, these. So we have Facebook retargeting, we have Academy visitors and website visitors. We have two different types of retargeting rolling, Facebook, PPC. And then as a result of filming this video, I noticed that we had this broken because we didn't have this tagging sheet set up. Come on, take your own medicine. And so now we need to switch all the ads to just say retargeting because these are now showing us split and different. And then we also had content so that we can see, and then these are the URLs that we're actually putting into the different platforms. So Facebook has a place to put in UTM tags, and so does AdWords. So I think that covers pretty much everything. If you have any questions, let me know on the YouTube channel or in the comments or just wherever you are. If you're in the Academy or on the website, whatever. And I will be happy to respond to those. But that's UTM tags in a nutshell. I hope I covered it in a way that was helpful for you. So thanks for watching. And as always, we will see you in the next video. Thanks a lot.